Now, construction of a new bridge across the Clyde River at Bateman's Bay is going to improve safety and driving times on the Princess Highway. But it's also going to be a bit of a disruption for local residents while construction is underway. The Roads and Maritime Service will be overseeing the build, and Ian Archer, the project manager, joins us this morning. Ian Archer, hello.
Good morning, Simon.
Archer, that's a good name for a bridge builder.
Yes. We're not building an arch this time, but yes, certainly it's a good name to have.
All right, so where is the project up to at the moment?
Look, the community is going to see the start of some major construction activity in the next week or two. People who live in Bateman's Bay or across the river just recently, in the last couple of days, may have already seen one of the large cranes being assembled on the southern foreshore. There's been a little bit of preparatory work already being done. The toilet block and part of the car park on the southern side's been demolished, and there's some temporary facilities have been put in place there to make way for one of the land piers on the bridge. So there's plenty happening, and it's exciting times for the community and the bridge builders.
And how long will construction take?
Well, we're expecting it to take probably 2.5 to 3 years to get the new bridge open to traffic. And there's still a major job to dismantle the existing bridge once we've finished the new concrete bridge. So that will take the best part of a year as well. So it's a major bit of work, and obviously we appreciate the community's patience, while we're sort of getting on doing the job.
All right, now if you bring in cranes, that means you're getting down to the real nitty-gritty construction, I imagine. What are we going to see in the next few weeks?
Yeah, so the cranes are being assembled to actually start work on the foundations for the bridge. Technically, we call that the piling work, and they're essentially the large concrete columns that go into the ground and in fact into the riverbed, and they are there to support the piers that come up out of the river, to support the superstructure of the bridge. So that's the work that will be starting in the next few weeks.
Obviously, the foundations are arguably the most important part. Ian, how tricky is that part of the construction?
Yeah, look, it's highly technical work, and we've got a very experienced bridge construction contractor doing the work for us, and they bring in specialist piling subcontractors to do the work. So we need to get the best of the best. We're designing the bridge to be standing there in 100 years' time, and we need to be able to build quality foundations to support the rest of the bridge. So it's very important. RMS has got a team there on site as well to just oversee the work and make sure that we're getting the quality of work that the taxpayer is going to expect on the spend that we're providing on the project. And
putting the pylons in, does that happen underwater, or do you have to kind of open up the river to the bed?
So what you'll see is those large cranes will actually be placed on some pretty large barges, and they'll go out into the river. What they do is actually then put some large steel tubes down into the river, and they settle into the muds on the riverbed. And then the excavation works actually takes place from inside those steel tubes. We put some environmental protections around the barge, so there's floating booms with silt curtains and things like that, and obviously protecting the river and the marine park, and all the local industry and activities that are based on the river is extremely important to us. So there's a lot of controls go in place, but essentially the steel tubes going down into the riverbed, they're sunk down in there. The excavation takes place with some specialised drilling and boring equipment, and then we place a lot of reinforcement and concrete into those piles way down into the bedrock below the river to make sure that we've got the strong foundation.
All right, well, it's going to be interesting to watch over the next few years. Ian Archer, thanks for the update.
Thank you.
That's Ian Archer. He's the Senior Project Manager for the Bateman's Bay Bridge with the RMS.